welcome to eLearning Today TV. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Lena.
And before we get started, just want to remind you to head over to iTunes, and if you like the show, give us 5 stars.
Yeah.
Okay, so next week, March 9th, actually I think it's Wednesday, is World Read Aloud Day, which I didn't know anything about, but it's a great day, celebration that all teachers and parents and students around the world are pretty much celebrating the right that they have to read and to write and to learn. And I was reading some blogs, and I was reading one from Angela Myers, and she had this kind of assignment that she wanted to give students, and I think that it would be great for a lot of people to try out. She pretty much proposes a question asking what your life would be like without the ability to read and write and all this stuff. So there was a video posted from Lit World, which is actually they're the starters of this movement, and I wanted to play a minute or so. This is asking that question to real students.
Shop groceries, read road signs, read prices.
I'm in school. I won't get an education. I would miss interesting and new things.
I would miss escaping to other places that I've never been to through the means of books after having heart.
Okay, so you can see it's a really great question or topic to kind of discuss, and especially with this day coming up next week, I think that a lot of people would learn some great stuff from that. And I know for us, reading and blogging and stuff is something we do every day, so I can't imagine not being able to do that either.
Yeah, I agree. Cool. All right, so the new iPad is out, or the announcement was made. Very exciting news. With what that means for education, really is that there's going to be tons of iPads out there, very low prices, and so what that does is that is going to create a new environment of teaching and in education and so forth. So I found this really cool article by Learn Boost, which I posted on my top 3 articles of the week, and we'll have it on the notes. I definitely recommend for all educators to read it. They kind of go over the different reasons why the ed tech field believes that the iPads are going to pretty much take over, and how publishers need to kind of adjust, and even teachers need to adjust and so forth, and what it means for students and how to get them engaged and so forth. And really cool stuff. I kind of agree with that, because you pretty much, with lowering the prices, which Apple is going to be doing soon, schools are going to be able to get their budgets and be able to apply that to having more iPads in their classrooms. So
We should get a new iPad then.
yes, I agree.
Director.
For everybody here.
Take a note. Okay. And I also found some organizational kind of tools for kids this week that I thought would be cool to share. I'm going to show one in a minute, but the other ones they're all mostly the same, but they all have something different. One called Remember the Milk, and this one's pretty much, it's mainly works on mobile phones, so it's great for students who have their smartphones or their computers with them all the time. You can add to-do lists and assignments and calendars and really keep up with your stuff that way. The next one's Track Class, and this one is geared more towards kind of assignments. You can save assignments and presentations and keep track of all your classes kind of on the go also. And another one's called Soshiku, and this one's kind of aimed a little towards older students, but it's still a great tool. It actually it can send text messages and all these other reminders also, so if you have an important project or something else coming up. And the last one's called Square Leaf, which I'm going to show. It's kind of like sticky notes, but it's virtual. So if you can see the screen here, you can kind of, yeah. This is an example of what it would look like, and you can make notes, so for each class you have, or for any other thing you have to do that day, and you can kind of just drag them all over your screen. So it's a cool way to stay organized and kind of keep up with your classes. So I have links to all of those tools in the blog that I wrote.
It's pretty cool. Awesome. And For those of you that are still not convinced on how to use Twitter or how it would integrate with education, I found this two really cool videos of teachers talking about how they use Twitter and why it's kind of important. Here's a very quick preview, but the two videos are going to be on our notes.
Well, I use Twitter to develop what's called a personal learning network. Twitter for Teachers, since I am an educator, Twitter for Teachers is a little bit different. We're really fighting the concept that people sit down and Twitter when they're having a cup of coffee or when they're going to the bathroom or when they're, playing with their kids. What we use Twitter for as educators is to exchange information with other educators.
So here's interviewing very quick in like 2 minutes teachers that talk about how they use Twitter and why is it important, and now that we just kind of announced that the iPads are going to take over, you kind of have to learn how to use all the social media as well, because they kind of go hand in hand. And one of the great things about building your own personal learning network online is that now you're not going to need to spend tons of money having to go to conferences and learn from each other. So this is one really easy way for you to get in touch with other educators around the country and around the world to really share the technologies that are out there, and not just in general in ed tech, but any specific field, for intervention, for SPED, for ELL, anywhere. So really cool interview with two teachers that can kind of teach you all the things about Twitter and stuff. So that's it.
All right. That's our show. We'll see you next week.